So, hi Jhalak, thank you for coming on to the podcast, leaving your meeting early. Hope you're doing well. So, can you just tell us about what you do, where you work, and how you've gotten to the place you are right now?
Shrey, thank you so much for inviting me, and don't bother about me coming here, leaving any meeting. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet with you. I did my master's in human resource management from Dublin, Ireland, and after that, I was working with IBM for a couple of years. Post which I came to India, and I was looking for a job in my home city, Mumbai. And I want to make sure I join a company where I can last long because switching is not my style. So I applied very strategically at places which are very close to my vicinity. So I knew Mumbai may travel is a pain point. So I was very categoric in selecting the kilometers while applying and then selecting the best companies. I interviewed for Oberoi Realty in all honesty. And then I think Destiny placed me at Oberoi International School, where I am now since last almost a decade, 9+ years. And my role over here started as a senior exec, and now I have moved up the ladder wherein I'm heading the human resources for both the institutions. They run two schools. This is one of the top IB schools in Mumbai and all across the country as well. And here I am, wherein I look at the entire purview of human resources, all the domains that come under it, and I'm enjoying it very much.
You mentioned you are seeking the job. There's a lot of people that are looking for jobs constantly. Can you just give your 2 cents on how to find a job
Mm.
that is suitable for you? How would you do that?
Right. So finding a job is like a job itself. So when I came back from Ireland, it was like moving from another country and coming back to your home country. I was very clear in my mind what I wanted. So I think it's very important to first have your list of criteria as what you want. Don't just be like whatever comes your way, I'm going to take it. So I made my list of priorities. As I said, distance was very important for me. Second, the company culture was important for me. Third, knowing that the company size and my stability and the ladders to grow that I have within the company was important. So I think for a job seeker, what's very important is deciding what is really crucial for you, step one. Second is I took it as a job for me to apply for a job. So I would sit at 9 and I would get up at 5. I would go to a
Mhm.
cafe, I would be at home, I would be within my room, and I would be serious about looking for a job. So it started with day one, updating my profile, updating my LinkedIn, day two talking to contacts, day three, uploading CVs and other things in other places. So it is a very strategic move that I took. So I think for the job seekers, it's very essential to take themselves seriously and then always pick and choose what you want to take. For example, when I got into Oberoi, I had 7, 8 offers in my hand. But I was very picky and from different industries and different domains because luckily HR is required everywhere. So that is how it worked. I think now talking very categorically about your question in terms of getting into strategy, you need to have your network. Like for me, word of mouth was very important. I made all my contacts alive to make sure I'm reaching far and wide. But I did not solely depend on them. So always have your fallback options. So that was my one area that I was applying through. I was applying through websites. I was applying through the Naukri.com or whatever you name it, the job portals. I was talking to consultants and walking into the meeting rooms. But I ensured every single day, I was my own client and I was learning so much because I think when you give an interview, you are actually unfolding yourself, and someone else is paying for their time to know about you. So that's to begin with a crucial step, but I can answer more when you have some specific questions, Shay.
Yeah, sure. So, Oberoi School, you said?
That's right.
All right. So usually I've not heard a single school having an HR. So can you tell me about the organization? What are you doing exactly over here?
Absolutely. Yeah, trust me, I was in the same boat as you, wherein I felt, how can school have an HR team? Where Shrey, you and I studied, I think we had an accounts department that did it all, or
Yeah.
one clerical department that was leading it all. But HR has really evolved over a period of time, and especially in the institution that I work, I take a lot of pride in Oberoi International School. We have a very systematic functions over here. It's not just HR that the school has. It has its own property management services team, which runs and takes care of the entire huge property that the school owns, where the school is running. It also has a communications team. Yeah, it also has an admissions team. It also has an IT team, an admin team, and an accounts team, just like any other corporate would have. So this is a huge school. When you research a little about it, you'll know. But it has an entire very strong backend operating team, which helps, which is honestly a spine of the school to ensure the teaching and learning is uninterrupted. Yeah. So for me, what I do is now coming to the HR funnel. We look at from the entire employee life cycle, right, from hiring to firing. Yeah, from hire to retire, the whole cycle is looked at. Now, a lot comes into the play, right from sourcing CVs, and before sourcing CVs, it comes to manpower planning. How much do we need? Where do we need? How many do we need? Yeah. So that's called manpower planning. Then comes deciding, okay, where are we going to place, to which location, the allocations. Then comes the sourcing and advertising, how you're going to go about recruiting people. Then goes the recruitment process. Yeah. And then goes the offer stage. That's when the offer negotiation happens, offer closure happens. Then goes the onboarding. So this is an entire domain which would come only under talent acquisition. So
Hmm.
like that, talent acquisition is one domain. The other domain that I look at is also called expatriate management, wherein within the school we have a lot of internationals working for us. So we have an entire expatriate management cell as well, wherein we look at their onboarding, which includes now all the more, yeah, visa, the country rules and compliances that we are hiring them from, and
Okay.
ensuring that they are comfortable within the country till the time that they're deported. And then it comes to payroll, very important. So HR in many organizations is just attendance recording. In our organization, it's also about paying salaries. So we ensure we're keeping our, all our payroll inputs ready, our attendance ready to ensure all our 600 plus employees get paid on time. And similarly, we also have compliances, and we have budgeting, and we have audit, and all of this comes under a human resource perspective. So whatever you would imagine for a huge corporate house to have, Oberoi has something similar.
Understood, understood. So you specifically in what you said, I could hear a lot of emphasis on retaining people, making sure they are doing well, all that stuff. So can you can you talk a bit about how can we retain employees to the maximum amount without making
Mhm.
them feel they are trapped or something? You obviously don't want that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. You're totally right. As you would have also heard Shrey, that a lot of effort goes into hiring people. So recruitment is a crucial ballgame for any organization, because until you have the right people, furnitures can't do the job. Yeah, AI is getting there, but it's a long way through, right? But still, it's going to be somebody who's ruling the AI and getting AI to work. So
Yeah.
now talking about retention, once you've put so much effort, it's very important to retain the resource, because if you're not maintaining, what's the point? So in terms of retention, I think money is a huge motivator, but to get you in the job. Yeah. But for you to survive through those 30 days and 31 days, and not just wait for the 31st day when you're getting paid, because you get paid only once a month, but every single day when you're going to work, you need to have a motivation and feel like, I want to get to this place. Yeah. In our school, we're very lucky because it's an institution of education. So teachers are really looking forward to be with students and all of that. But to help them retain, the culture makes a huge difference. Yeah. So the organizational culture is a very important fact. Like, in fact, my thesis was on mergers and acquisitions of organizations, and the culture that it drives. So it's very important that we maintain a culture of people feeling that, you know what, I'm heard and I'm valued. I know it's easier said than done, but from human resources perspective, like, it's a very given thing that if anybody comes to our desk and says we want to have a chat, we drop all our work and all our emails and we say, okay, we are here to hear you.
Hmm.
And even if we have to work beyond our working hours to ensure our desk job is complete, we do that. But I think that's a thumb rule, that the employee should feel valued, they should feel heard. They should know that if they have a complaint, it is not even just being heard, but it's acting upon and also getting resolved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one point of retention. The second point is ensuring that your policies and your pay packages are updated. There are regular increments. Yeah, you're covering the inflation rate of the year to ensure that the employees feel rewarded enough, and many other perks that keeps getting added along. So I think retention is a challenge not just for India but for the world abroad.
We're all fed up of Naukri, Apna, Indeed. There's 500 applications and one or two of them are good, barely. In the job market, there are two types of candidates. There is active candidates and there is passive candidates. Active candidates are those that are actively looking for a job. Whereas passive candidates are the ones that, let's say, I'm just working at a company and I'm not looking for a job. But if someone were to offer me a job, I would consider that. I'd be like, okay, what's the company? What salary are you offering? What this and that? And you can search this up. 70% of the job market isn't even looking for a job, but how can we tap into them? That's where Recruva comes in. So I've started their free trial recently. They're giving a free 7-day free trial. Go to LinkedIn and search for any kind of job role that you're looking for. Let's say people, and you can narrow this down with company, location, whatever industry they are in. Like you can filter this out with anything that you want. Once you're done with the filtration, you simply have to copy this, and you can go here and import these people into the software. So if you search contact search, just click the import button. It will just simply import these people into the software. Now what you can do after that is create an automation where people like these are reached out to automatically. So just to give you an example, this automation is essentially going and reaching out to all these people on LinkedIn, and the message looks something like this. So we're looking for a Java and Spring Boot developer with team lead experience in Delhi. Let me know if you'd be open for a fresh start. Happy to share more details. So this automation goes out to all the people. Look at the acceptance rate on this. 41% of the people that we send this message to are accepting it. 38% on this one. So we can see this one is more effective, but you get the point. These are high quality leads of suitable candidates, and you can send follow-ups in case they don't respond. You can do all sorts of stuff over here. So basically you are targeting for the first time ever people that are exactly suitable to your job role. You are targeting them at scale. This has never been possible until now. So head over to recruva.io and start your 7-day free trial. Explore the platform. They will guide you through exactly step by step how to set this up. It's extremely easy because once you set it up, you'll get candidates like just coming in. So you can see over here in the chat area, all the people that reply, they'll just come over here, and you can, without opening LinkedIn, like essentially you can connect those LinkedIn accounts over here from which you are sending these messages, and all those messages come over here in a centralized place. I'm not going to open any because of like privacy reasons, but I've been testing this. It's working amazingly so far. You should definitely check it out. If you're a business owner, your HR will thank you for the amount of time saved and the amount of money saved with this platform. And if you're an HR watching this, your business, like your boss, he is gonna thank you for using this because you're saving so much time. You're reducing the number of days it takes to hire. You're saving money on that as well, and you're getting high quality people that are very keen to join your company. All right, so let's get back to the podcast, and no more disturbances from now. Enjoy the show.
So retention is a challenge in general for the globe right now, but
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of factors play into retention to ensure that even when a person has dropped in a resignation, we have made an entire degree turn saying that still stay back. So even after the person has made up their mind, in my experience, they have also resigned. A conversation and addressing their concerns have helped us, make them stay back.
Yeah, because for these people, it's not so it's easy to leave a job, right? But as you said, it's not always as easy to find a new job that's as good as the one that they
Mm.
are having right now. So we can talk about the cultures. One interesting thing you pointed out was you wrote your thesis on mergers and acquisitions and how that impacts the culture. Is that right?
Mm.
So
That's
can
right.
you tell me about
That's
that?
right.
Because I've never heard that kind of a concept before. Like how culture is impacted when two or more different cultures are combined. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this was my master's thesis when I did my MBA, and it's very interesting, that with it's like the life cycle. Yeah, the big fish eats the small fish, isn't it? But then that fish is dead. It's over. However, in mergers and acquisitions, the big companies are taking the small companies, but the small companies were a family on its own. Were an independent institution on its own. Now, what happens to the people who were working there? They either get fired or they get retained as a part of the bigger company, but the challenges that this person goes through or this group of people go through while adapting to the bigger institution is immense. Yeah. It's as good as your parents have gone through a divorce and you're living with a step parent. So
hmm,
it's that kind of a change in an entire institution and a culture that they're going through. So it is very important to have somebody as a chief cultural officer on board. So in my thesis, I had suggested that the companies that are doing these mergers and acquisitions to have a chief cultural officer wherein a person goes into the company which is getting acquired and learns about that company and starts building up a rapport and understanding that what is good and bad about the company that person is coming from, like a neutral ground. And then there is a very seamless match and an acquisition. This is when you want to really retain your employees and want them to make the best, because they may always have the grudge that, oh, this is not how it was, or people always have the tendency of reflecting. We used to do it differently. How
Hmm.
it was done is, but
Yeah.
what more can be done, that should be looked at. That is what you should look forward towards. So this is how, the if the mergers and acquisitions give a little aspect or a little respect to culture in general, it can do magic to an organization which is acquiring also and which has gotten acquired as well. In fact, a lot of companies that I see are not doing too well in spite of being the richest in the country is because they have not paid sensitive attention to building that niceness in the organization. It's not about being goody goody, but it's about the most harsh things can also be said in a good way if you want to. And that's what I'm a big believer of. And you know that's where I come from. That's what my school of thought is.
Yeah. What do you mean by niceness? So this, I understand what is a harsh environment. It's like come to work, 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 go back home, sleep, whatever you want to do. And so what does niceness mean
Yeah,
exactly? What kind of a culture is that?
yeah, you're totally right. So what it is, just let's begin with something very basic. Yeah. For example, when we were children, we used to smile 400 times a day. This is a research. As a child smiles 400 times a day. When you go into adulthood, a teenager smiles around 15 times a day. An adult can go without smiling the entire day. Yeah. So when we come to the corporate world, there is some amount of stiffness that comes. Yeah. In us, and we believe that we have to work in a certain way. It's absolutely fine to be vulnerable, yeah, but at the same time with professionalism. So there are days that I have let people cry in front of me. There are days I've offered them, "Do you need a hug?" You know. In fact, an interview happened with me yesterday wherein a candidate came in and she was completely broken down. She was having very bad cramp, and I offered her, "Do you need a hug?" And she said, "Yes, please." And then she gave a fantastic interview after that. Of course, many factors were at play, not just that one. But that human aspect, if you get what I mean, is so important to be honest. Because see, a corporate organization can also become very defensive and offensive. In the sense, if I'm pointing out something that, why did Shrey tell me, no, you cannot delay 10 minutes? Why can't I do that? It can become an entire big thing. But at the same time, I can appreciate and look at it. I like this guy's professionalism. I'm going to take myself seriously because he's asking me to take himself seriously. You see, looking at the other side of the perspective, because the whole life is about perspective, not just HR or an organization. Yeah, you put yourself in the other person's shoes, and that humanness only increases. So when I say niceness in a lame word, is what I mean is to be more genuine and human to people around, because that's what human resources are all about. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I have the same kind of thought where, if somebody has a personal problem in their life, it's going to impact their work. You cannot ignore that. You cannot ignore what happens outside of work.
Yeah.
saying कि अरे ये तो बाहर की चीज है,
Mm.
like this is not related to us. You have to pay attention to that person. You have to treat that person like family, because truth is that if
You're
you're
so right.
if you're in the professional world, you're going to spend more time at work in your life than with your own family. So this is
You
basically
said it,
like your
Shreya. You're so
extended
right.
family. So you have to make the best of it, and the company has to also make sure that it makes people feel that they're part of a family.
So true. You're absolutely right. Just to add to that, it's very interesting. One of my team member told me that, Jhalak, you're like a mom. You're like a momager, and she told me about this concept called momager. So these days, it's a manager. Yeah, these days a manager doesn't help, because see, at the end of the day, in your little team, when you're taking care of them, what is crucial is to understand, as you correctly pointed out, Shrey, what's going on in their life, and that will happen by default if you're genuine, right? If someone will say, "I want to leave," you'll not ask them what is your leave purpose.
Hmm.
But if you're, you don't need to ask. When you are very genuine and close to them, they'll themselves say, "It's my father's 75th birthday. I need to take time off." You say, "Oh, great." And that one message in the evening to say, "How did the celebration go? Send me a picture." takes you such a long way to differentiate you just from a manager and make you a leader and a person who cares. Yeah. Someone saying that my child is not well, I got to rush home right now. Just go, drop everything and go. I'll cover you up. Yeah. Instead of saying, how could you do this? Ask your husband to go. I don't care. I need you here. There are situations when
Yeah.
I've even absolutely, it's sometimes the situations demanded. People don't do it on purpose, but that's where how important are you? How much can you dirty your hands? Shrey, I was blessed because I've worked in every domain of the team which I'm right now leading. So for me, I took my time to do the groundwork really hard and put myself down to make sure that I'm doing every aspect. I was lucky to get a chance to do everything. Today, when any of my team members says that I'm backing off for some of their personal thing, I know I can be their substitute. And I don't shy away from doing the groundwork as well. Whether it's an offer closure, or it's an offer printing, or it's, talking to a person, or doing anything, or just, showing them around the building. I can, or doing a budget or an audit, any of that sort. So when you yourself as a manager know what to do, you'll not be afraid to be alone. And you'll be a strength to the team rather than your team just being a strength to you.
Hmm.
So this is where when you're saying, it's very important that when you are being at work so many hours, you care for the team beyond working aspect, and the vice versa will happen. They will care for work beyond their personal aspect. I have had people, who really needed the whole day off and have said that, Jhalak, I'll just take an early exit. I just need an hour. I'll go and come back because I need to be here now with you, and I need to be here now for the organization. So when that culture or when that aspect of momager, which I mean, in a professional way happens, the line is very blurred between personal and professional, and then you enjoy every day of work.
Yeah, it's like, so I've heard this concept where teams are a reflection of the manager leading those teams. So as in, if I have a certain
Mm.
mindset of working, a certain way of working, that automatically gets reflected on my teammates. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you, as an example, are head of HR, manager, you're dealing with all these
Mm.
people, and your positiveness or niceness, whatever you want to call it, your way of working, it's getting transferred
Yeah.
to everyone else. So
Mm.
how important is that? As in, if someone else were sitting here with another kind of way of working, would that be transferred to them? Like, so it's like, how important is your role?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to ask.
Absolutely right. And I'm not even talking about my role, Shrey. I'm talking about the role of a leader here. It
Yeah.
is you are a mirror to the team. The team will do what you do because nobody believes in preachers. Everybody believes in seeing what you're practicing. Yeah. Today, if I'm expecting my team to stay back and finish their work, I sit with them. And I will make sure that they are not the last ones to leave the office, at least to begin with, till that is ingrained in them. Yeah.
Mm.
But it is so important. I have worked with good bosses, I've worked with bad bosses. And the truth is that people don't leave organizations, they leave their boss, their
Mm.
managers.
Mm.
Yeah. So it is so essential that who am I getting motivated by is my directors and my CEOs, right? If they are treating me well, I want to be here. Same goes for the team. If I'm treating them well, they want to be here. So when they come in, like I am a critic to them, but I'm also their cheerleader. So if they're doing something good, any human wants to be noticed and appreciated. And if I'm doing that enough for them, they not want to look for that elsewhere. It's like in a relationship, right? If you're getting all the love from one person, you wouldn't want to go out, isn't it? It's when you feel something is lacking, you start window shopping. Yeah, it's the same at work. If you feel so fulfilled in your role and in your team, you wouldn't want to, look at what's available out there in the market. And then the pay becomes a secondary factor. So I think a manager, the leader on the top, has so much to do, has really a lot to play in the role. And you're totally right. I think a bad person can still make you continue do the job. A bad manager, if the organization is great and your willpower is amazing and your reasons are very good. But if you have a good manager, you unbox the whole potential of the team. Like when I started, I had people in my team who really couldn't do one a particular task, but then they are amazed at themselves that we didn't know we were capable of this. Because it's until somebody else puts that belief in you and is ready to take that risk, you are not ready to take that risk yourself. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what you're saying is completely important that any team is a replica of the manager. And for me, I'd put a rule in my mind that I don't want ever my team to go for a party without me. So I don't want them to see, you know what I mean? I don't want them to see us, oh, Jhalak is gone. Come on, let's go out for a meeting and a party right now, Let's hang out. So I never wanted to be in that category where they have a group without me or they go for a party without me. I always wanted them to feel that I'm a friend to them. If
Hmm.
they can work with me, they can party with me. So it totally works that way, Shreya. You're
Okay.
right.
So I have another question. It's an important one, uh, which is what do you do about the bad apples where you initially thought while hiring them during the talent acquisition phase where they're good, they're a good fit, but
Yeah.
after joining you realize, or and even they realize, ki, "Arey, like they're having conflicts with others, they're having conflicts with themselves, and then you are having conflicts with them." What do you do about those kind of people?
You give it time first to see whether you can make it work.
Hmm.
And as you're saying, if it's a mutual understanding that it's not working out, just pull the plug. Have a conversation with them. I'm not meant for you. You're not meant for me. Just let's move away. Yeah.
Hmm.
This organization, this role is not working out for you. And then you make that mutual peaceful call.
It's not that they
On the
are a
other
bad
hand, if you
person,
think
it's that they belong somewhere else.
of
It's
course,
like
it's a
that.
wrong fit.
Yeah, it's a wrong fit. Yeah. So how do you
Absolutely. It's a
depart
wrong fit.
from
It's a
that?
bad hire and a wrong fit.
Yeah. So how do you depart from that without
You'll,
getting a kind of
I
conflict?
think it happens more often than we would think that you do a bad hire in the sense that you do a wrong cultural fit or a position fit or a skill fit hire, wrong fit hire. And then what happens is the minute you realize you give it a chance or two, usually when you put somebody on an improvement plan, you have three warnings that you give the person before actually firing the person. But if it's not even worthy of pulling that far, you still use your discretion at the probation period and you fire the person. Or you ask for a very amicable departure of the person. Because at the end of the day, you're working for the organization. All these conversations that you need to feel happy, you need to feel relaxed, and you need to want to go to work is all one side. Feelings are aside. But for me and for any good person, leader, it should be when it comes to work, it's work. Yeah, I've had my team break down in front of me saying that because they thought it's too much. And that time emotions are aside. You're just being a leader and you're like, get to work, hands on the deck and get your business done. And beyond that, you take them for a coffee and you make sure they're feeling fine as well. But if you find that somebody in your team whom you hired with all the confidence is not working well, it's time that you move on from that person, make them leave, and hire another one. And usually, what you were talking about, Shrey, right at the beginning of the call, people are smart these days. They don't leave a job until they have another job. They must have realized I've landed in a wrong job too. I'm not working out here. I don't have the skill set. But they will still not quit till they get another job because it's easier to find one job while you have one. So that way, you have to see, are you costing it to the company? Because see, my first mantra is that I'm working for the organization and I'm working for people equally because I'm human resources. But I cannot, it's a fine balance. You cannot defy the trust of your employees, but at the same time, not work for the organization's alignment. So if a wrong hire has been done, you take an action
Hmm.
towards it.
So this is called
And on the other
quiet
side, you can
quitting,
also
right?
help them find another job. Yeah, quiet quitting. So that is something
Yes.
when you give them also a choice to do that. Yeah, but sometimes you have to take the hard decision and terminate them as well. But I have had the most pleasant terminations too. That's when I can circle back and say that you can have the harshest conversations in the most pleasant way, still have them on your chat and talk to them. So it's
Yeah.
possible.
What do you have to say about notice periods? Me and my dad was speaking about this, where in the US, maximum notice period allowed is 15 days. Some states it's zero. You can just walk out anytime.
Mhm.
We were discussing ki over here, India mein it's like there's not it's common to hear 90-day notice periods. I was just saying it's kind of I
Mhm.
think it's kind of predatory behavior where they just want to like hold that employee. And so, what do you have to say on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think 90 days is wait a little too much. And I think 1 month, 30 days is a little too less. Because, see, Shrey, what happens practically speaking? If Shrey resigns today, today is what, 20th of December. If we're going to talk for the first 7 days to see are you staying back. We're going to have an exit interview. We're going to see the reasons, blah, blah, blah. Then she's going to work on his handover document. By the time the HR actually advertises and interviews and selects you and selects another candidate for your role who also has a 30 plus day notice period, then there is a gap.
Hmm.
And that gap the team will absorb because you can't hire a person for 1 month or 2 months. So the whole team is absorbing that load for that time. What is happening to the team? A burnout is happening. Yeah. And the work is getting impacted. So 1 month is impractical as well. 3 months, it may look like it's too much and unfair, but at the same time, there are reasons why you have 3 months. However, I believe in the mid approach, wherein I think 2 months just works beautifully, wherein the person also gets a chance to tell the organization, I'm on a 2 month notice period. So the new organization is thinking ahead. At the same time, once Shrey has resigned, I have 1 month to hire a person. Plus, I keep a 10-day layover period, an overlap period between Shrey leaving and the new joiner coming in. So then there is an actual handover between Shrey and the new joiner.
Hmm.
So this person is training, the person who's departing from the company is actually training the newcomer. So then the team doesn't have the burden of taking care of Shrey's job while he's gone or training the new employee who's coming in. Yeah, so there's a seamless transition. So while the employee might feel 3 months is not fair and it's a predatory kind of a nature, if it's done with the right intentions and in the right fashion, then it's not. But I think 2 months works beautifully.
I understand your point. It makes sense to me now. But isn't this a problem created by a problem? Which, what I mean by that is, this problem is there because you said that there's a gap because the other person you're hiring also has a notice period. So we're saying notice periods are good, but then it's because the notice periods are there for the other people. So why not just have
Mm,
less lower notice periods where you can, let's say, if someone wants to leave quick, they leave quick instead of quiet quitting, and the
mm.
new person can join fast as well.
Sorry, someone wants to leave quick? What did you say?
I'm saying that if somebody wants to leave quick, I'm saying that if there's a low notice period, less days ka notice period, people can leave quick and then
Yeah.
join quick from other organizations as well. So that gap isn't there anymore. What you were saying earlier. So isn't this a technically like a
Yeah.
problem caused by
Shreya,
the?
I was reading, you can see how you see it, Shreya. It's again a perspective. You see, I was reading the other day that Gen Z are the most, nobody wants to hire a Gen Z. The organizations are running away from hiring Gen Zs for many reasons. In fact, it was a funny joke also that I heard the meme which said that she calls on to the boss and says that, listen, I'm not coming in today. So she said, what do you mean you're not coming in? You've got to be at work. And she says, no, I did not find parking in the parking lot. So I've come back home with my car. She said, what are you talking about? So she said, yeah, just walk to work. She said, no, 20 minutes of walking, I cannot do that. She said, I'm going to dock your pay. She said, just call it sick or dock your pay. I don't care. But this is an exaggerated version of talking about this. I'm not saying that's how Gen Zs are. I have two Gen Zs in my team and they work so sincerely and beautifully. I just love them. They are so, they are so moldable. You can teach them so much and you can ensure that they're getting the best. And in fact, I think they're learning so quick. But when you have this 15-day notice period, it's a very new concept that you're thinking about. Earlier, you talk to your father again, Shrey, people would not quit jobs. Like, I think I'm from the older generation, 10 decades in an organization. People would just go on and on and on. If you go on to the baby boomers and others,
Yeah, yeah.
they would not want to quit a job at all. In fact, that was also a hindrance in their growth because organizations took advantage of them.
Hmm.
They knew you're going to retire from here. Yeah. Now the organizations, now it's so easy to just walk away from your job and you think that 15 days, it's actually going to be very harmful in the long run. If within 15 days you're able to move out and move into a new company as well, I wouldn't want a 1 month is a bare minimum. Yeah, after you have decided to put down your papers. And I think if there was a standard notice period, like a government law thing that okay, you have to give minimum 2 months, or the maximum notice period you can put on somebody is 2 months and the minimum is 1 month, it would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
But as you correctly said, some people have 3 months. And some people even have 6 months, that in some institutions it's even 6 months because it's a cyclical thing. So 6 months is also in play. However, legally, not more than 3 months can you keep.
Acha, that's
In any organization, more than 3 months, if you keep a note, that's legally. So if you can take it up in the court of law. But what happens now, Shrey, there are so many loopholes in this because As a company, legally, I'm allowed only 3 months. But I'm making Shrey sign a document while joining that you're going to give me 6 months and you agree to it. Yeah? So if you have agreed and signed on a paper and I've agreed and signed on a paper, then the legal is aside. You can't really fight it in the court of law until you fight it in the court of law. So 15 days, I hear why you're saying that, but it's going to be impractical because then there'll be so much disruption
Hmm.
in the organization that you're leaving and the other person also who's leaving and coming into the new organization. Imagine everybody doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, makes
It's going
makes
to
sense.
completely leave you disrupted.
Makes sense now. So I guess that's
Mm.
all that I wanted to ask you. I've had a wonderful conversation. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Um, a couple of things that I'd like to say is human resources are very looked down upon. Fact, I feel sometimes people think human, tum karte hi kya ho? Sometimes when we are the last ones to leave office, to be honest, and I'll have colleagues look at me and say that, "तुम लोग भी इतना लंबा बैठते हो, what do you got to do?" But it's a very important aspect, and it's how you make it. Yeah, you are like the silent change makers in the organization. It's like how you're baking a cake. When
Yeah.
you add that vanilla essence, it's very little, but that without that you cannot bake a cake. Yeah, similarly, I think everybody plays that essence at one point or the other. For example, I can get resources, but if there is no IT, you can't make them work. So everybody plays that role, and it's very important to take yourself seriously. It's important for you to take your team seriously and to take your job seriously because I feel if everybody did their task 100%, the world would be a way better place. For example, I always feel when you have a very rough bumper on the road, I feel the person who made this was lazy on that one day, but now thousands of cars are passing through this bumper, in one single day, and everybody is slowing down, which is then adding on to the time of every other car and every single person behind.
Hmm.
But if that one construction person had decided to do a good job that day, this it wouldn't have led to this entire thing. So I think the minuscule of the things should also be done correct. And I feel very grateful to have found this role because I never thought I'm going to be in HR, but I'm very happy doing what I'm doing and contributing. And I invite more people to join in because there's a lot of scope as well. And I want to also appreciate you. Last thing, Shreya. I was not ready for this call. You get many such emails a day, for things, and there's so much going around. But when you started your message email, as I told you, I'm a 17-year-old and I want to know from you. That grabbed my attention. As I told you, I work for an institution where I have these students around me, and I really feel whatever I can do to contribute, I want to do. So, Shrey, you are doing a very good job. You're very confident. And it's amazing how much you must be absorbing while you're talking to different fraternities and asking these relevant questions to them. So, way to go, brother. Maybe one day I'm going to podcast you and ask how was your journey.
No, I kind of got reminded of an article which I had written in which I had said that in an organization, every department thinks that
Mm,
they are the most important department. HR says I'm the most important because without me, there's no employees. Sales says no. If I don't sell anything, there's no
correct.
business. If IT says, oh no, I'm the most important. So it's that's the very wrong mindset. It's like everybody's working together. You cannot have the mindset that I'm most important, this and that, and no one is less or more important. It's like you're working together. It's like a football
Yeah,
team. You cannot win a match if you don't have a striker or if you don't have a defender. It's completely
absolutely.
different roles. So that comparison needs to stop. People need to stop firstly like thinking HR is some time pass thing. So yeah. Cool then. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for coming
Good,
on.
good.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Pleasure is all mine. Sure. Likewise. You take care and wish you all the luck.
Yes, thank you.